Leaf. Scene 7. Leaf sat in his new bedroom, numb, trying to read For Whom the Bell Tolls by Hemingway, as his newfound siblings wrestled and jumped about the house. He tried to numb himself to them, to the noise. Despite the noise, despite the tumult, despite the press of people in his new home, he never felt so alone. He hadn't realised it until now, but he didn't have any friends apart from his mum. She was the one thing, the one person he spoke to. And now, a young teenager, he'd tried to plan her funeral. He'd stayed glued to the bed for a couple of days now, refusing the attempts of his uncle to get up and do something. He'd expected a call from the doctor, or the police after his escapade in the doctor's office the other day, but nothing had come of it. The doctor was right. He should have pushed her harder. He felt in his gut, ever since the first time she called him something else, that something was up. He knew it. And you did nothing, he said, closing the book, an inch from his face, feeling the waft of air and the dust of the book. Nancy strolled in. 3 weeks shy of 18, the noisiest of the 4 brothers and sisters he now had in his uncle's house. "Cheer up, Mope," she said. "I wish you'd actually do something." "Go away," said Leaf. He couldn't feel anything. The bruises on his thigh had healed up from the doctor's office. His beatings had dissipated. And nothing. He felt nothing inside. Even his uncle's cooking felt hollow. "Get up, get up, get up," Nancy sang. He stared into her teasing eyes and glazed over a look. Something inside him gave out. He placed his hand over his heart, over the bump in his chest where the cylinder lay, against his skin, always there. He slept with it on these days. He pushed it all away, pushed it towards Nancy, glaring at her, willing her to have it all. She hit the floor. She curled up into a ball, sobbing and moaning, clawing at her hair, rolling around on the floor. "Stop, stop, make it stop," she said. Suddenly, Leaf was aware of the sun prickling through the window, hitting his skin. He was aware of how hungry he felt. He was aware of how good it felt to live without any pain. "Stop it, stop it, stop it," yelled Nancy. "What's going on here?" said his uncle, bursting through into the room. "What did you do to her?" It's him. Make him stop, Dad, make him stop," said Nancy. "What kind of witchcraft is this? What are you doing, son?" said his uncle. Open bracket. Note. Trying not to make all the adults sound the same. Close bracket. Leaf glared down at Nancy, who writhed around on the floor. "I don't know how you're doing this," said his uncle, "but get out of my house. I took you in with open arms after your mum died. But get out. Was it you that did this?" he said. "Did you kill my sister? Was it you, you wee prick?" Leaf let go and inhaled his pain back inside himself. He felt the electric prickling of the cylinder as the world returned to hollow nothingness again. Nancy stopped writhing around on the floor and let out an exasperated long breath. She sobbed, got to her knees, got up and ran out the room. "You're a monster," said his uncle. I'm sorry," said Leaf. "I didn't mean to. I don't know what's happening to me." "Well, I know what's happening to you," said his uncle. You do? Said Leaf. You're leaving here. That's what you're doing. You what? Said Leaf. You're just going to chuck me out after taking me in like this? Look, I'm sorry, I'll not do it again. Ah, so it was you. You do admit it, said his uncle. Leaf put his hand in his pocket. He'd found a box full of pins and needles and other implements, and he kept them in his pocket for just this purpose, just in case he had to bring the pain to anyone. Max Altitude wouldn't stand for this. He wouldn't sit by and waste his power like this if he had been given it. He brought out a set of nail clippers. He caught the confused stare of his uncle as he slid its head under one of his fingernails. He smiled. He exhaled the pain out, the cylinder crackling on his chest. Again the pain in his soul left him. His uncle shook. And then Leaf yanked the nail clippers back, tearing half his nail off, exposing a seeping mass of red flesh underneath the nail. His uncle roared, clutched his finger, and ran out the room. He smiled and looked down at the blood that streamed down his finger. He breathed in, knowing as soon as his uncle was far enough away, then that fresh pain would be all over him as well. Well, Leaf, he said to himself, I guess you're on your own.